I totally applaud what Caitlin Clark is doing. She's putting the WNBA first. She's saying, yo, we matter first to me. We should matter first to the ladies. I'll make an argument. Considering the lackluster effort the NBA players have been given during All-Star Weekend, they should matter more, period.
Stephen A. Smith's fiery take on Caitlin Clark's NBA three-point contest rejection isn't just bold, it's game-changing. ESPN First Take went off as Caitlin chose the WNBA over the NBA.
Caitlin Clark, in her decision, I not only respect it, but I wholeheartedly support it. You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1. And most importantly, I think people look at this and think she said no. That's not the case. She said she wants her first competition to be an Indy at WNBA All-Star, which to me is huge. People don't see the numbers below. Like the economic impact, $36 million she drove to Indianapolis just by showing up as a rookie and making history.
Stephen A. Smith has never been one to hold back his opinions, and his latest take on Caitlin Clark's decision to turn down an invitation to the NBA three-point contest is no exception. The ESPN personality made it clear that he not only respects, but fully supports Clark's choice, applauding her for prioritizing the WNBA over a one-time appearance in an NBA event. His reasoning? He believes Clark's commitment to the league that drafted her is exactly what women's basketball needs right now.
Caitlin Clark's NBA All-Star three-point decision has made some waves. It's got people talking. And I think it really, is a testament to her motion and her star power and the way she uses her power. I mean, I've done a previous video on this.
Clark, the first overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, has already become the face of women's basketball, drawing unprecedented attention to the league. With her record-breaking performances at Iowa, she built a massive following, and many believed that her participation in the NBA's All-Star Weekend event would have been a groundbreaking moment for women's basketball. However, Clark chose to decline, focusing instead on making an immediate impact in the WNBA.
There are other people that can use that spotlight to compete as well. So I think Caitlin, she moves because she knows people follow her no matter where she goes, and she's very strategic about dictating where her value is.
Stephen A. didn't just agree with her decision, he celebrated it. On First Take, he emphasized that while the NBA's invitation was historic, Clark's primary responsibility is to help elevate the WNBA, not serve as a spectacle for the NBA. Smith went on to argue that women's basketball has been gaining momentum, and Clark's presence in the WNBA is crucial for sustaining that growth. While the NBA's invitation was well-intentioned, it could have sent the wrong message, that the biggest moment for a female basketball star had to come on an NBA stage rather than within her own league. Smith pointed out that the WNBA needs its stars to shine in their own right, not as guests in a men's league's festivities.
The fact of the matter is, the kind of stuff that's happening and has been happening over the last few months is because of Caitlin Clark.
Another key point raised was timing. The WNBA season will be in full swing, and Clark's presence in the NBA's contest could have been a distraction from her primary goal, becoming a dominant force in the league. Instead of splitting her focus, she's choosing to give everything to her team and the WNBA, ensuring that her debut season isn't overshadowed by outside events.
You know what the biggest reason is? Y'all freaking care. You care. You can't look at an audience and give them the proverbial middle finger.
It's true.
That's what the NBA players have done to All-Star Weekend. That's what they've done. There's no getting around this. It's a travesty. The league, I'm telling you right now, if the league wouldn't do it, I'm at a point where if they don't show, again, I'm not saying anything should be required, but a little more effort. Just compete with each other, not like a regular season game. Act like you're playing in the summertime, just working out. Give that kind of effort. If you can't do that, I don't think the fans should show up. I think the league should cancel an All-Star weekend.
Smith's take aligns with the growing movement to elevate women's sports on their own terms. In the past, female athletes have often been celebrated when they succeed within men's sports. But Smith's stance reflects a shift in perspective, that the WNBA doesn't need validation from the NBA. It needs investment, star power, and a commitment from players like Clark, who can bring both talent and attention to the league.
Wow.
You know what's interesting? Stephen A? The points that you bring up highlight how the WNBA for basketball fans has become a destination.
Clark's presence has brought an unprecedented level of attention to the league, sparking conversations that simply weren't happening before. From record-breaking college performances to selling out WNBA arenas, Clark's impact is undeniable. Smith emphasized that Clark's effect goes beyond just ticket sales and viewership. She shifted the conversation around women's basketball, making it a mainstream topic across all sports platforms. The WNBA has seen a major increase in interest, with her games drawing massive crowds and setting new ratings records. The WNBA has been growing, but what Caitlin Clark has done, she's taken it to another level, Smith said.
People are starting to appreciate the women's game for that approach because we understand what's at stake in this moment. And for Caitlin Clark to have the awareness to drive the eyeballs there, you have to give her so much credit for that.
One of the biggest moments that reinforced her commitment to the league was her decision to reject the NBA's invitation to participate in the three-point contest. While some saw it as a missed opportunity for cross-league exposure, Clark made it clear that her priority is the WNBA. That decision drew praise from many, including ESPN's Chini Ogwumike, a former WNBA player and analyst who has long supported Clark's journey. Ogwumike has consistently shown admiration for Clark's game, praising her skill set and competitive nature. After Clark turned down the NBA's offer, Ogwumike publicly applauded her for making the right call.
As a rookie, she was the most blitzed player in the WNBA, and she still put up 19, 5, and 8 assists, breaking, like you said, the assist record. To be able to do that as a rookie in the face of that much defensive pressure should have been unanimous.
Should have been. I agree. It should have.
Ogwumike's support of Clark isn't new. Even during Clark's record-breaking college career, she recognized her potential to be a game changer in the WNBA. Now, Clark is proving that point by bringing in fans, media coverage, and overall energy that's elevating the league's visibility.
Someone check on Adam Silver because Caitlin Clark just big-timed the NBA. She said, nah, I'm good on the three-point contest. You know how we were all speculating that it was going to be Steph Curry and Klay Thompson versus Sabrina and Caitlin Clark? Well, Shams just reported that Caitlin Clark will not participate in the NBA All-Star Special three-point shootout in San Francisco and wants her first three-point contest to be at WNBA All-Star in Indianapolis this summer. 7 months in advance, she confirmed she'll be in that WNBA three-point shootout. If an NBA player wants to go up against her, then they're gonna have to go to Indy.
Smith agreed, emphasizing that Clark's decision was a defining moment. She understands the assignment, he said. The WNBA doesn't need to ride the coattails of the NBA. It needs its stars to shine on their own stage. Smith's stance reinforced the idea that the WNBA's success should be built from within, not by relying on validation from men's basketball. The numbers back it up. Since Clark's entry into the WNBA, merchandise sales have skyrocketed, television ratings have spiked, and social media engagement around the league has reached record highs.
It is a good situation. I actually like what Caitlin Clark's doing. I really do. She actually basically told the NBA no. How much clout do you have to tell the NBA no?
Clark's ability to draw both diehard basketball fans and casual viewers has been a major boost, and analysts like Smith and Ogwumike recognize that this momentum is a turning point for women's basketball. With Clark leading a new era of WNBA popularity and analysts like Smith and Ogwumike supporting that shift, the league is in a prime position to reach new heights. The impact is real, and it's just getting started. At the start of Caitlin Clark's WNBA career, not everyone was on board with the hype. ESPN analyst Molly Curran was one of the critics, questioning whether Clark had truly proven herself in the league. Curran even suggested that Clark's early spotlight was more about her name than her talent, going as far as to imply that she was making a mockery of the WNBA by receiving so much attention before proving herself at the professional level.
People aren't going to tune in to watch Caitlin sit the bench, and they're certainly not going to tune in if she just so happens to be needed on the court and more minutes are required of her. I know she will do her best. I know she's talented, but she's not strong enough and she doesn't have enough experience.
But fast forward, and Clark has silenced every single doubt. She hasn't just lived up to expectations, she's exceeded them. Her performances on the court, her leadership, and her ability to elevate the entire league's visibility have made it clear. She's not just a name, she's a generational talent. Clark's presence has led to record-breaking attendance, jersey sales, and television ratings, proving that her impact is real and undeniable. Now, Clark is in a position of influence, making decisions that don't just affect her career, but also shape the direction of the WNBA. Instead of using the NBA's platform for exposure, she chose to stay focused on the WNBA, prioritizing her league over a one-time event. That's a level of power and influence few rookies, if any, have ever had.
This notion that Caitlin Clark is not the face of the WNBA because she isn't the best player is quite honestly ridiculous. Conor McGregor was the face of the UFC. He was not the best fighter. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA, but nobody says he's the face of the NBA. Being the best doesn't automatically give you the title as the face of the league. It's who moves the needle, who's marketed to the audience, who are they coming to see, who drives the conversation surrounding your sport. All the numbers and metrics point to one direction, and that direction is Caitlin Clark, and it's not even close.
Her decision wasn't just about turning down an NBA opportunity. It was about uplifting the WNBA and showing that the league deserves attention on its own terms. Clark's choice sent a clear message. The WNBA doesn't need to rely on the NBA for legitimacy. The league is growing because of its own stars, and she's one of the biggest reasons for that growth. Even more impressive is Clark's reasoning for declining the offer.
Now let's look to day 2 of opening night on Saturday, May 17th. Of course, you guys, we have the Indiana Fever going up against the Chicago Sky. The WNBA saw what happened last season. There is still this, what I like to think is a manufactured rivalry, because I don't personally think this Angel Reese Caitlin Clark rivalry is going to last much longer. I don't think it's great for either one of them, and I think that we saw last season in this Rookie of the Year race that Caitlin pulled away quickly.
Clark's journey from being discredited by analysts like Karim to now being one of the most influential figures in women's basketball is remarkable. She's proving that she's not just a media sensation, she's a legitimate superstar who is changing the game. Her impact isn't just about individual success, it's about shifting the entire landscape of women's basketball. The WNBA is benefiting from her presence in ways that critics never imagined, and with every game, she continues to prove that she's here to stay. From being questioned to now dictating the direction of the sport, Caitlin Clark has solidified herself as a true game changer.
Which to me is huge. People don't see the numbers below. Like the economic impact, 36 million she drove to Indianapolis just by showing up as a rookie and making history. And so I understand her point of view. She wants to probably let other athletes shine, and she gets what she also says, like it's like earned, not given.
Some argued she wasn't the best player in her draft class, while others claimed she was only receiving attention because of her name and media hype. Analysts, former players, and even WNBA veterans suggested that her presence was overshadowing the league rather than helping it grow.
Caitlin Clark is a special player. She reminds me of a Steph Curry. You know, a lot of times she takes those ill-advised shots that me and Chuck don't like, but they go in. Not only do they go in consistently. And the way she plays the game, she's the true definition of a great player.
The numbers don't lie. Clark's games consistently attract more viewers than any other in the league, and arenas sell out wherever she plays. Stephen A. Smith, one of the most respected voices in sports media, has taken notice. While others were quick to downplay Clark's significance, Smith has acknowledged that she is changing the WNBA in a way no one else could. He has publicly praised her ability to bring attention to women's basketball, calling her a game changer who is proving people wrong every single day. He understands that Clark's impact isn't just about individual success, it's about elevating the entire league to new heights.
What impact has Caitlin Clark already made in her career?
Well, she's had a profound impact on the game. She's elevated the profile of women's basketball because she's a superstar talent. She deserves to get her jersey retired. She deserves to be celebrated at Iowa the way that she did. When I did an event with her and my guy Mark Shapiro in Iowa, that's his alma mater, 11,000 people showed up. I assure you it was not for me. It was for her.
One of the clearest signs of Clark's influence came when she turned down the NBA's invitation to participate in the three-point contest. Instead of using the NBA as a platform for more exposure, she chose to prioritize the WNBA, sending a strong message that the league doesn't need to rely on men's basketball for validation. Her decision showed that she understands her role not just as a player, but as a leader in women's sports. The fact that she chose to decline the NBA's offer in favor of doing it in Indiana, where her fans can be a part of the experience, speaks volumes about her character. It shows loyalty to her supporters and reinforces the idea that she isn't just a superstar. She's an ambassador for the game. Those who doubted her are now watching as she reshapes the league in real time. She isn't just proving herself. She's proving that women's basketball is bigger than ever, and she's leading the charge. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.